The fallen warrior, the battlefield was a graveyard. Smoke covered the sky. Fires burned all around. Broken machines and bodies lay everywhere. Explosions shook the ground. The war between humans and aliens had reached its worst point. In the middle of the chaos, one alien warrior was still breathing. His name was Korak, one of the strongest fighters from the Varnak species. He had long armor, sharp claws, and glowing blue eyes. His people said he was a living weapon. But now Korak lay still on the bloody ground. A blast had hit his back. He could not move his legs. He was paralyzed. His team was running. His own soldiers left him behind. "We can't help him," one alien shouted. "He's finished." Another screamed. None of them looked back. Korak's eyes stayed open. His hands moved a little. He wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Pain filled his body, but the worst pain came from being left behind. They left him to die, but someone was watching from behind a burned-out tank. A human soldier saw everything. His name was Jack Weaver. He was quiet, tough, and known for doing the right thing even when no one else would. He had fought against the Varnak before. He knew their power. He had lost friends to their weapons. But something in Jack's heart told him this wasn't right. That alien was still alive. "He's one of them," said a voice in his head. "But he's still alive," Jack whispered back. Jack looked around. No one was near. No one would help. No one would even know if you walked away. But he didn't walk away. He moved fast, staying low. He ran past fire, metal, and bodies. Drones flew overhead, scanning the area. Jack ducked under cover again and again. Finally, he reached Korak. Alien's eyes locked with Jack's. No hate. Just pain, and maybe hope. Jack knelt beside him. "You understand me?" Jack asked. Korak blinked once. "Yes." Jack looked at the alien's body. The damage was bad. The lower half was useless. But the upper body was strong. Jack sighed. "This is crazy," he said, "but I'm not leaving you here." He reached under Korak's arms and pulled. The alien was heavy, like carrying a full machine. Jack grunted in pain but didn't stop. "I must be out of my mind," he muttered. He dragged Korak across the field, hiding behind broken walls and vehicles. A gunship flew by. Jack froze. The lights passed over them, but didn't stop. "Just a little more," Jack said. They reached a small crater with cover. Jack stopped to rest. He looked at Korak. The alien's breathing was slow but steady. "You better be worth it," Jack joked. Korak made a strange sound. It was almost a laugh. Jack blinked. "Okay, you do understand me." Suddenly, a loud boom echoed. More ships were landing in the distance. Reinforcements. "We need to move," Jack said. He stood up and lifted Korak again. His muscles burned, but he didn't stop. He kept walking. Step by step, away from the battlefield. Away from the death. Each minute felt like an hour. Finally he saw an old bunker, half buried, forgotten from an old war. The door was broken, but it could give them shelter. Jack kicked it open and carried Korak inside. Dust filled the air. The lights didn't work, but it was safe. For now. Jack laid Korak down gently. "You're going to live," Jack said. "I'll make sure of it." Korak looked at him. His voice was weak, but he spoke one word. "Why?" Jack sat down and pulled out a water bottle. He took a sip and then gave some to Korak. "Because," he said, "everyone deserves a second chance." Enemy territory. The night was silent. Too silent. Jack opened his eyes inside the bunker. Dust floated in the cold air. The metal walls groaned. Somewhere far away, a bomb echoed like distant thunder. He looked at the alien lying beside him. Korak. Still alive, still breathing, but barely. Jack checked his gun. Half a clip left. He checked his med kit. Almost empty. "I should have left you," Jack whispered. "Would have been easier." But he didn't mean it. Suddenly, a sharp noise. Clank, clank. Metal footsteps. Outside the bunker. Jack froze. He grabbed his rifle and moved to the door. He looked through a crack in the wall. 2 alien scout drones round, floating machines with red eyes and long scanning arms. They hovered above the ground, sweeping side to side. If they found the bunker, they'd send a signal. And then they'd all be dead. Jack turned to Korek. "Stay quiet," he whispered. "Don't even breathe loud." Korek nodded, barely. Jack pulled a broken pipe from the floor and tossed it out the back window. Clang. The noise echoed behind the bunker. The drones turned quickly and flew toward the sound. Jack moved fast. He grabbed his pack, lifted Korek again, and slipped out the front. The moment the drones vanished behind the hill, he started running. Every step was a risk. He had to move through enemy territory now. The war zone was still hot. Crashed ships, alien blood, and gunfire far in the distance. The Varnak patrols were everywhere, looking for survivors. And traitors. Korak- once their best warrior, was now considered both. Jack knew he couldn't keep carrying him much longer. He spotted a half-broken transport truck nearby. Its front was destroyed, but the back was still covered and hidden. He dragged Korek inside and laid him down. "I need answers," Jack said. Korek looked at him. His voice was soft and slow. "You saved me." Jack nodded. "Yeah, but why did your people leave you?" Korek closed his eyes. "I am broken. In our army, broken things are replaced." Jack looked away. "That's cold," he muttered. Korak opened his eyes again. "You are different." Jack didn't answer right away. He pulled a small device from his bag and turned it on. It showed a map. Red zones everywhere. They were deep in enemy space now. No way to call for help. No way back. Then he remembered something. 2 years ago, a human scout ship crashed behind enemy lines. Only one survivor made it back. That survivor told a strange story. An alien warrior found him. Could have killed him, but didn't. Saved him. Jack looked at Korek. "That was you, wasn't it?" Korek didn't reply. He didn't need to. Jack sighed. "Well, I guess I owe you one." Suddenly, dashlights. Blue searchlights passed over the truck. A patrol group was near. Jack pushed Korek deeper into the back. "Under some old cargo." "Don't move," he whispered. He stepped out slowly, gun in hand. 4 Varnak soldiers stood outside, scanning the area. One spoke. "Human detected nearby. Orders are to search all wrecks." Jack raised his rifle, but before he could aim, a voice came from the truck. "Help." It was Korak. Weak, but loud enough. The soldiers froze. "Was that Korek?" one asked. "No, impossible, he's dead." Sounded like him. They ran toward the truck. Jack had one chance. He threw a flash grenade and dived behind cover. Boom. White light exploded everywhere. He shot 2 soldiers before they could aim. The other 2 fired back. Bullets slammed into the truck. Jack rolled, aimed, and fired again. Silenced. All 4 were down. Jack breathed hard. He rushed back inside. Korek was bleeding. One shot had hit him. "Damn it," Jack said. "Why'd you speak?" Korek coughed. "You would have died." Jack stared at him. "Are you seriously trying to protect me now?" Korek smiled weakly. "You did it first." Jack didn't know what to say. He patched the wound quickly. He had to move again. More patrols would be coming. He looked at the sky. Clouds glowed orange from fires far away. But beyond the smoke, stars still shined. Maybe hope was still out there. Jack lifted Korek once more. "You better not die," he said. "You still owe me a story." Secrets in the bunker. The bunker door shut with a loud, rusty creak. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. Jack set Korek down on a metal table. The alien was pale, breathing slow. Wounded and weak. Jack looked around. The room was cold, dark, and full of shadows. Dust floated like ghosts in the flashlight beam. Then something clicked, a soft hum. Like a machine waking up. Jack raised his gun fast. Who's there? No answer. Suddenly, a light turned on by itself, then another. The bunker was not empty. A deep voice spoke from the ceiling. Medical protocol online. Scanning life forms. Jack held his breath. A small drone dropped from the ceiling, blinking blue. One human, one Varnic-class warrior. Condition: critical. Jack lowered his weapon slowly. What are you? The voice replied, calm and smooth. I am Mednet 9. Last active AI from the old Earth Varnic Treaty Base. This facility is no longer in use. Jack looked at Korek, then back at the drone. Can you help him? Begin treatment, YN? Yes, start now. The drone hovered over Korek and shined a beam of blue light. It scanned his body. Jack stepped back and watched in silence. Minutes passed. Then the AI said something strange. Subject is a Varnic bioconstruct. Genetic enhancements detected. Memory core restricted. Jack frowned. What does that mean? The AI beeped. This warrior was not born. He was made, designed for war. His mind and body are controlled by code. Jack turned to Korek. You're a weapon? Korek opened his eyes slowly. I was made to kill, he said. Not to think, not to feel. Jack stepped closer. But you do feel. You saved me. Korek looked away. They say I'm broken because I started asking why. Jack sat down across from him. And what's your answer? Korek was quiet. Death should mean something, he said at last. Not just orders. The AI continued healing him. Robotic arms moved quickly, fixing his wound and stabilizing his body. Slowly, Korek's hands began to twitch. His fingers moved for the first time since the battlefield. Jack's eyes widened. You're healing. Korek nodded just once. Not fast, but yes. Jack looked around. This bunker, forgotten by both sides, had become a safe place. At least for now. He walked down a small hallway and found an old control room. Dusty screens flickered to life. One screen showed movement outside. Varnic patrols, moving closer, searching. Jack returned to the room. We've got maybe 1 day before they find us. Korek tried to sit up, but his body still shook. I will fight, he said. Jack shook his head. Not yet. We need a plan. He sat on the floor and opened a small food pack. He tossed one to Korek, who stared at it. What is this? Korek asked. Dry protein, Jack said, chewing. Tastes like rubber. Keeps you alive. Korek took a bite. Then coughed. Jack laughed for the first time in days. You'll live. They sat in silence for a few minutes. Then Korek said, I was trained since birth. Every day they told me humans are weak, full of fear. But, Jack raised an eyebrow. But, you're the only one who didn't leave me. Jack looked down. Yeah, well, humans are weird like that. Suddenly, the eye beeped again. Urgent message detected. Hidden code found in Varnic neural data. Jack stood up fast. What message? The AI projected a small hologram in the air. It showed a large, glowing weapon. A star killer device. Message hidden in the subject's brain. Final mission. Activate the Nova Core. Jack's blood ran cold. That's a planet destroyer. Korek's face turned dark. I was their key, he whispered. They never wanted me to survive, because I know too much. Jack took a deep breath. Then maybe we stop them. Korek looked surprised. You would help me? Jack nodded. You're not just some weapon anymore. You're my mission now. Hunted. The sound came in the middle of the night. Click. Then another. Clack, clack. Jack's eyes opened fast. He didn't move. He just listened. The bunker was dark, quiet, but something had changed. The air felt colder. He reached for his rifle slowly. Korek was asleep on the table, his breathing steady now. Healing, but still weak. Jack moved like a shadow toward the hallway. His boots made no sound on the floor. Another sound came. Static. Breathing. Faint metal scrape. Not machines. Not soldiers. Something else. Then a voice. Low and sharp, cut through the silence. I know you're here, human. And I know what you're hiding. Jack's heart beat faster. He pressed against the wall, waiting. The voice continued. The bounty for Korak is high. Dead or alive. But dead is easier. Suddenly crash. The metal door exploded inward. A figure stepped through the smoke. Tall. Armor like a skeleton. Helmet glowing red. A bounty hunter. Jack dove behind a crate as bullets ripped through the bunker. Rat. Tat. He rolled, fired back once, twice, then ducked again. Korak woke up with a sharp breath. What is that? Trouble, Jack shouted. Stay down. The bounty hunter fired a plasma blast. It hit the ceiling. Sparks flew. Lights flickered. Jack knew this was no ordinary soldier. This was a hunter trained to take down anything, even Varnak elites. The hunter spoke again. Calmly. Give me the warrior, and I'll let you live. Jack shouted back. Try and take him. The hunter threw a flash mine. Light blinded Jack. His ears rang. Bang. Jack fired blindly. Silence. Then a whisper near his ear. Missed. The hunter was behind him. Jack twisted just in time. The hunter grabbed him and slammed him into the wall. Jack punched back fast. The two wrestled, falling over crates and tools. Korak, still weak, tried to sit up. He looked around, saw a metal rod. With shaking arms. He grabbed it. The hunter drew a blade curved and glowing. He raised it to strike Jack. Clang. The rod hit his back, not strong, but enough to distract him. Jack used the moment. He grabbed the blade hand and jammed it into the wall, where the live wires sparked. Zzzt. Electricity lit up the room. The hunter screamed and fell back, stunned. Jack didn't wait. He raised his rifle. Bang. Bang. 2 shots to the chest. 1 to the head. The hunter dropped. Silence returned. Jack stood there, breathing hard, then looked at Korak. You moved. Korak dropped the rod. A little. Jack helped him back to the table. You could have stayed down. Korak looked at him. And let you die? No. Jack gave a small smile. Well, thanks. They sat in silence for a minute. Then Jack checked the hunter's gear. A tracker. A map. A bounty chip. He picked up the chip. It showed Korak's face. Red target mark. Wanted by Varnak High Command. Execute on sight. Korak stared at it. They want to erase me. Jack nodded. Because you know their secret. Korak's eyes narrowed. Then we go after the core. We stop them. Jack looked surprised. You're sure? I was built to destroy, Korak said. But now, I choose what to destroy. Jack loaded his rifle. Then let's break the rules. Suddenly, the AI voice returned. Warning, more signals detected. This place is no longer safe. Jack looked at Korak. We run? Korak shook his head. No, we strike. Asterisk the mission. The hologram glowed in the dark room. Jack and Korak stared at it in silence. A giant machine spun in space. Black metal, red lights. A pulse like a heartbeat. The Nova Core, a weapon built to erase entire planets. The AS voice filled the bunker. This device is 89% complete. Once activated, it will destroy Earth in under 60 seconds. Jack's jaw clenched. How much time do we have? 3 days. Korak's claws tightened. His body was stronger now. He could sit, move, and almost walk. He whispered, "This was my final order. Deliver activation codes, then die." Jack looked at him sharply. "So you were never meant to live." Korak nodded once. "I was just a tool." Jack stood up and paced. "Okay, then we break the mission. We stop that thing. Together." Korak stared at him. "Even if it kills you?" Jack met his eyes. Better to die trying than sit and watch the galaxy burn. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Korak said, I still have access to a back door. A hidden route into the Nova Core base. Jack raised an eyebrow. Is it guarded? Korak gave a dry laugh. By everything. Jack smirked. Perfect. 12 hours later, they stood at the edge of a dead city. Black towers. Cracked streets. The air smelled of dust and smoke. Korak wore scavenged armor over his old body plates. His walk was slow, but powerful. Jack checked his rifle. They moved together through the ruins. Drones flew overhead, but Korak knew when to stop, when to move, and when to hide. Soon, they reached a large hill of broken metal. Underneath was a tunnel, ancient and forgotten. This is it, Korak said. Jack looked down into the dark. No lights? Korak shook his head. No cameras, no sensors. That's why it still exists, Jack smiled. Sometimes old school is the best school. They climbed down. Inside the tunnel it was tight, cold, quiet. Jack's flashlight barely reached 10 feet. Their footsteps echoed off wet stone and steel. Sometimes a drip of water. Sometimes nothing at all. Then Korak stopped. Jack raised his gun. What is it? Korak pointed. A broken suit of armor. Burned. Rusted. Inside, the bones of another Varnak warrior. He tried this path before. Korak said. Jack looked at the body. What happened to him? Korak's voice was quiet. He started to ask questions, like me. Jack put a hand on Korak's shoulder. You're not like them anymore. Korak didn't answer, but he walked with more strength. Later the tunnel opened into a wide cave. Jack stopped in his tracks. In the center, a glowing pillar. Wires fed into it from every side. Korak's eyes narrowed. That's it. The signal hub. If we destroy it, they lose control of the Nova Core. Jack checked the area. No guards. Too easy. He muttered. He stepped forward. Click. A metal arm dropped from the ceiling. Fast. Jack dove left. Lasers activated. Red beams crisscrossed the room. A voice boomed. Unauthorized access. Intruders detected. Doors opened on both sides. Varnak guards stormed in. 10, maybe more. Jack grabbed his rifle and fired. Korak charged forward with a roar, smashing the first 2 guards into the wall. Jack yelled, Go for the hub. Korak leapt through the lasers, roaring in pain as one cut his side. But he didn't stop. He reached the pillar and plunged his claws deep inside. Crack! Electric sparks shot out. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark. The lasers disappeared. Guards froze. Confused. Jack took the shot. Bang! Bang! One by one, the guards fell. Silence returned. Smoke filled the air. Korak dropped to one knee, bleeding. Jack rushed to him. You okay? Korak coughed. It's disabled. But not for long. Jack nodded. Then we hit the core next. Korak looked up. His voice was calm. I'm ready. Strike back. The alarm rang like a scream through the enemy base. We dash. Red lights flashed. Metal doors slammed shut. Robots scrambled to their stations. Varnak soldiers shouted orders, but none of them saw what was coming. From above, 2 shadows dropped through a ceiling vent, fast and silent. Jack hit the ground first. Rifle ready. Korak followed, claws glowing, his body now strong and steady. Quiet entry, Jack whispered. Korak smirked. That was your idea of quiet? They had reached the Nova Core. This was it. A massive underground base built like a fortress. Dark towers, spinning engines, glowing red lines that pulsed like veins. In the center, the Nova Core itself, tall as a skyscraper, humming like it was alive. Once activated, it could turn an entire planet into fire. Jack looked at the map on his wrist. Main control room is down 3 levels. Korak pointed toward a side tunnel. That way, fewer guards. They moved fast, ducking between crates and pipes. The hallway was tight, lined with glowing alien text. Jack didn't know what it said. Ko our rack did. Death, honor, obedience. He said, all lies. They stopped at a metal door. Jack placed a charge. One boom coming up. Boom. The door flew open. Smoke poured in. 3 guards raised their weapons. Too late. Crack, crack, crack. Jack took them down with clean shots. They rushed inside. A dark control room. Lights blinked on. Panels flashed warnings in red. Korek moved to the core terminal. His hands flew across the screen. Jack kept watch. Suddenly, a deep voice echoed. From above, so you turned against your own, Korek. They looked up. A huge screen showed the face of a Varnak warlord. Cold eyes, metal jaw. Armor like polished bone. You were our best weapon, the warlord said. And now you stand with a human? Korek stared back. His voice was strong. I'm not your weapon anymore. The warlord's face twisted in anger. Then you will die with him. All doors opened at once. Guards rushed in from every side. Jack yelled, time to go loud. Korek roared and leapt forward, crashing into a wave of enemies. His claws tore through armor. His body moved like a storm. Jack covered him, picking off soldiers from the high ground, but they kept coming. Too many. Korek took a blast to the chest. He stumbled but stood. Jack ran to his side. We need an exit, now. Korek smashed the control panel. Alert. CLF destruct sequence activated. 10 minutes to core meltdown. Jack blinked. You did that on purpose? Korek nodded. No power, no weapon. Jack groaned. You could have warned me. They turned and ran, fire and gunshots behind them. The whole base shook. Pipes burst. Sparks flew. Walls cracked. Jack and Korek reached the main elevator shaft. Just a hole now. No way down. No way up. Then Jack pointed. Service ladder. They climbed fast. Below them, the floor collapsed. Heat from the core burned everything. 5 minutes left. At the top, Jack kicked open a vent and pulled Korek out. They landed on a landing pad outside. The sky was full of black clouds. The ground shook harder. Far above, a small human ship hovered. Jack's emergency beacon had worked. It lowered fast. Jack waved. We're out of time. The ship's doors opened. They jumped aboard. As they lifted off, the Nova core base exploded behind them. Red fire lit the sky, followed by a mushroom of smoke and metal. The screen inside the ship flashed. Nova core destroyed. Korek leaned back, breathing hard. Jack sat beside him, silent. Finally, Korek said, You risked everything. Jack looked at him. So did you. Korek nodded. We stopped their weapon. Jack looked out the window, watching the fires below fade into the clouds. Now we just have to survive the fallout. Asterisk, the last stand. The sky was burning. Not with fire, but with falling metal. The Nova core was gone, ripped apart by its own power. Pieces of its body fell like shooting stars across the gray clouds, and in the center of it all flew a small human DROPS. IT type. Inside. Jack leaned over the controls, his hands shaking. We're hit. Sparks flew from the dashboard. Smoke filled the air. Behind him, Korek sat slumped against the wall. His armor was cracked. A deep wound glowed red across his chest. Engines failing, Jack said. Brace for impact. The ship spun as it dropped. Korek didn't move. Hold on. Crash. The ship tore through a forest of black stone and landed hard in a deep crater. Silence. Then coughing. Jack pulled himself from the wreckage. His arm was bleeding. His eyes were blurry. Korek? Number. Answer. He crawled back inside. Found the alien warrior lying still. Jack grabbed his shoulder. Don't do this. You're not dying. Not now. Korek opened his eyes slowly. I can't move. Jack gritted his teeth. You've said that before. Korek smiled weakly. Then carry me one more time. Jack laughed once, but it caught in his throat. He looked outside. Something moved on the crater rim. More soldiers. Not many, but enough. A Final cleanup squad. Jack raised his rifle. I'll hold them off. Korak whispered, no, this is my fight too. He reached for a broken piece of the ship, an energy rod. With great effort, he stood up, wounded, bleeding, but standing. Jack stood beside him, 2 against an army. I've always wanted to die with style, Jack said. Korak growled. We won't die, not until they know who we are. The enemy appeared cold, armored, eyes glowing blue. They spoke in Varnak language. Jack didn't understand, but Korak did. They said surrender, or be erased. Jack looked at him. Well? Korak raised the energy rod high. I told them, erase this. And then he charged. The final battle was not long, but it was legend. Korak fought like the ancient gods of his people. His claws tore through steel. His rod sent shockwaves into the ground. Jack covered him from above, sharp and deadly, wasting no bullets. But they were outnumbered. 1 by 1. The enemies fell, but so did Jack. A shot to the shoulder knocked him down. Korak screamed and tore through the last soldier like thunder. Then silence. Only wind. Only the sound of breathing. And 1 heartbeat left. Korak dropped to his knees. Jack crawled to him. You did it. Korak looked at the sky. I was built to destroy, but I chose to protect. Jack nodded. You made your own story. Korak smiled. And so did you. Sirens echoed in the distance. Human rescue ships. Finally. 2 weeks later, in a white hospital on a clean Earth ship. Jack sat by a window. His arm was in a sling. His chest wrapped in bandages. The door opened. A voice said, he's awake. Jack turned. Korak stood there. No longer a weapon. No longer broken. Just a warrior. Alive. Jack smiled wide. You stubborn monster. You survived. Korak stepped closer. Thanks. To you. They shook hands. No words needed. Outside the window, Earth shined in the distance. Safe.